Hello, good evening and welcome to JoyNews Prime with me, Beverly Broom. Coming up tonight, former President Mahama calls on government to scrap import charges and taxes on medication and kits for dialysis treatment with immediate effect, describing the decision to pass on costs to kidney patients as insensitive. Also, despite concerns, government may not be able to raise the proposed $1 billion to complete the Agenda 111 project. President Akufo-Addo insists his administration is on course as 89 of the ongoing hospitals reaches 52% completion rate. Plus, stakeholders in the rice cultivation space urge government to increase investment in research to enhance rice cultivation and production. More, as they say, they believe this will ultimately reduce the need to import the produce. I am Beverly Broom. Let's settle for the details now. Former President John Dramani Mahama is calling on government to, as a matter of urgency, scrap import charges and taxes on medications and kits for dialysis treatments across the country. This follows recent increment in the cost of dialysis services at the renal dialysis unit of the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital by 100%. Now, speaking at an event to mark this year's UN International Day for the Aged, Mr. Mahama described as insensitive government's decision to pass the cost of renal treatment to patients in the wake of high costs of living.
These promises can be found on page 63 of the NDC Manifesto of 2020. Given the opportunity, we shall bring relief to thousands of our citizens suffering from these ailments. Just this week, there was an uproar when the nation's premier teaching hospital, Korle-Bu, announced an increase in charges for dialysis treatment by 100%. This was threatening to put the cost of dialysis treatment out of the reach of many patients and their families. The explanation I read from the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital cites the increase in taxes and duties of materials for dialysis treatment as the main reason for their decision to hike the price by 100%. As an immediate measure, I call on the government to exempt medication and kits for dialysis treatment from taxes and duties to maintain this critical lifeline for patients whose survival depends on this treatment. I've had first-hand experience with the story of one of my assemblymen from the Bole-Bamboy district constituency where I was a member of parliament for 12 years. This assemblyman had to travel weekly to Kumasi for dialysis treatment because there was no such facility anywhere near our constituency. And there are many places in this country where dialysis is not available. And so if you have kidney disease, you either have to travel to Tamale, to Kumasi, to Accra, Cape Coast, or any of those places for dialysis. And you can imagine the transportation alone, including the cost of the dialysis treatment. Most people cannot afford it. So this assemblyman had to travel weekly to Kumasi from Bole-Bamboy, my constituency, for dialysis treatment because there was no such facility anywhere near our constituency. After a while, the cost of transportation to and fro became too expensive to bear. He therefore had to move with his wife, who was his caregiver, to Kumasi near the health facility for ease of treatment. The cost of treatment and care drained the family financially. Despite the monetary support I continued to give to the family, the absence of an opportunity for a transplant led to a deterioration in his condition and eventually to his death. He passed away. These are real-life stories. They are not statistics. These are the lives of our citizens, our people. Amidst the current economic crisis and a difficult period for many Ghanaians with worsening hardship, high cost of living, collapsing businesses and unemployment, the government should not be insensitive by passing on catastrophic healthcare costs onto the people with life-threatening diseases, especially the elderly. Because this is akin to condemning them to a death sentence. Many of such patients in this bracket are elderly people.
Now, President Akufo-Addo says his administration is on course to make Ghana the center of medical excellence in the sub-region. According to him, 89 of the Agenda 111 hospitals are 52% complete, while work on some sites are 70 to 80% complete. This comes on the heels of earlier concerns that government may not be able to raise the proposed $1 billion to complete the Agenda 111 project. Now, speaking at the commissioning of St. Michael's Specialist Hospital in Accra, President Akufo-Addo said his government is committed to improving access to quality healthcare for all.
Government's commitment to improving our healthcare delivery system is evident in the Agenda 111 initiative, which is providing 101 standard 100-bed district hospitals with accommodation for doctors and nurses in districts without district hospitals. 6 new regional hospitals for each of the 6 new regions. Rehabilitating the Afia Kwanta Hospital in the Western region. Building 1 new regional hospital for the Western region. And 2 psychiatric hospitals for 2 of the 3 zones of the country, i.e. the middle and northern zones. And the entire package at an estimated cost of $1.76 billion United States dollars. Thus far, construction of 86 district hospitals, 2 regional psychiatric hospitals, and the Western Regional Hospital are ongoing, which are all at various levels of completion. The average completion rate of the 89 ongoing projects is 52%, with work at some of the sites being 70 to 80% complete. It is worthy to note that the constructions of these hospitals are being undertaken by indigenous Ghanaian contractors who have provided direct and indirect jobs to Ghanaians. This means that 67,635 people will be employed in the Agenda 111 hospitals. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, beyond the building of these new healthcare facilities, my vision is to help make Ghana the center of excellence for medical care in West Africa by 2030, leveraging on Ghana's favorable status in the region as the most peaceful country in West Africa, a beacon of democracy on the continent, and a land of opportunities. This we will achieve by investing more in the development of our care infrastructure, mapping our regional health facilities to specializations, as well as upgrading selected facilities in our regional and teaching hospitals into world-class standards.
Let's turn our attentions to agriculture now, and stakeholders are urging the government to increase investments in research to enhance rice cultivation and production. This, they believe, will ultimately reduce the need for the import of the produce. Now, according to them, Ghana's pursuit of self-sufficiency in rice hinges on the commitment of key players to allocate ample funds for research aimed at developing high-yielding varieties and innovative technologies for grain processing. They made the appeal during the evaluation of new rice assortment at Sokwai in the Ashanti region. Mohammed Nuruddin has more.
The selection process was carried out among 12 recently developed varieties Institute under the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. Farmers were asked to walk through the rice field and pick out the varieties they believe will be most beneficial. This selection procedure was carried out sequentially, allowing every farmer on the field to make their preferred choice. Diverse viewpoints and assessments were expressed regarding the cultivated rice varieties. Here are a few of them.
I'm Panade Joseph in Sokwai, a rice farmer. All are very good, but there are some which are far better than the others. With farmers, we can, if we get most of the seed, it will be very helpful for us. So now, farmers, we don't have the money to go and buy the seed from the breeders. So if government can help them to produce more at subsidized prices, so our farmers can get those varieties, so it will help us
Selecting the CRI Ajapa variety released in 2022, Mr. Joseph Panada described its appealing aroma and plentiful tillers, which contribute to potentially higher yields.
Oh, Ajapa, the aroma is very good. The yield is good. The tilling is fine. And all is just the same level. You don't have taller ones or short ones. They are all the same level. It's very good. Like if I get that one.
Another stakeholder, Mr. Kojo Asempa, lauded the CRI Agra rice and CRI Amankwatia varieties as superior in the market due to their potential for greater yields, strong grain quality, good size, and similarities to imported rice.
That they brought out here today, I show that they have a potential of giving us good yields as the seed industry or the rice industry is supposed to grow. However, my preferred varieties that I have observed here today is the CSR Agra. That particular variety has the potential to give a higher yield compared to the other varieties because it tills more than the other varieties. The grain quality is very superb. The size of the grains are very good, and then it looks just like the foreign rice that they bring in. So that is why I prefer. And then when you send that particular rice to the mills, the market women prefer buying those the Agra variety than the other varieties. So that's why I will go in for the Agra variety. I'm not saying the other varieties that are not all good. They are all good, but in terms of preference, I prefer the Agra, then followed by the Amankwatia. It also has the same qualities as the Agra has, and it's also perfumed. And you see, for what we are doing now is to let people patronize the local varieties. So we have to look out for the varieties that people will appreciate as the same as the ones that are imported.
Mr. Ajiman Ofosu, assistant breeder at Crop Research Institute, says the institute will look at the variety the farmers geared towards and work more on it.
So what you just saw here is something that Copia Ghana has sponsored, and their main aim is to help farmers to select which varieties they want so that they will be able to produce larger quantities for them. So researchers are working around the corner, and then all we need is investment in the right direction, policy in the right direction, so that we'll be able to produce that much varieties, and then the farmers too will be able to select what they want, and then so that we'll be able to mitigate the high amount of money that we spend in importing rice into the country. My deputy director, who is the main rice breeder, Dr. Masola Sante, anytime he gets the opportunity, talks about the fact that there should always be the right channel of investment.
Ms. Ofosu underlined the richest dedication to releasing favorite rice varieties and call on the government to allocate more resources to rice research for improved production.
If Copia Ghana had not sponsored this, these varieties would have been in the shelves of Crop Research Institute. But with support from Copia, we have been able to introduce the farmers to the varieties. And they were excited. Some selected varieties that were released last year. Most of the selection came from Ajapa. But Ajapa was just released in 2022. Assuming we have not gotten the finance to introduce the farmers to it, they wouldn't know that such varieties are there. So our appeal to the government is just to invest more into rice research, okay, and then also to help the farmers with their petty needs so that we'll be able to reduce rice.
The farmers praised the institute for consistently introducing new rice varieties annually, benefiting farmers and the industry. A report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
Now, the Chito and Urawasi portion of the Ho Accra Highway has been open to traffic after rain forced authorities to close it. This is after the First Sky Construction Group fixed the broken sections. Ivy Setoji reports.
Speaking with the media, the CEO of the First Sky Construction, Oliver Aqua Techi, said they have successfully completed the broken culvert between Chito and Anyrawasi in the whole West District, which necessitated the closure of the road to traffic about 2 weeks ago after a heavy rain.
Here we are opening this to light vehicle traffic for the period. As you see, we have laid the base and we need to put in the primer seal and then the first seal and possibly the second seal. So we'll just open it to traffic, test the various source spots that may come up during the 1 week or 2 weeks as the tests are being carried out.
He noted that the First Sky construction is always in line with the delivery of quality and speed of work and making sure that all test specifications are met within the scheduled time given them.
For we as First Sky construction, we are always in line with delivering on quality and then within the speed and making sure that all test specifications are met within the construction duration that is allocated to us. We were called upon on Monday, a week exactly today, and when the confirmation call came through, we said that yes, it was an emergency situation that we need to quickly move in and then intervene.
The regional director of the Ghana Highways, Mr. Aminu Isaka Abubakar, said they are monitoring the strength of the concrete done to make sure that at least light vehicles can ply the roads for now. He said for now they are waiting to confirm its final strength and laboratory tests to give way to heavy-duty vehicles on the bridge.
There's some caution that we put in this issue. This has not been a normal construction. When we have emergency case like this, there are some things that we use. We call them accelerators and also super plasticizers. These are things to increase the density of the concrete, and within a shorter time, it will attain the design strength. So when we started, actually, we were monitoring the strength. We were monitoring the strength of the concrete that has been done. This one will make it clear to the public. The first day strength we got very, very high. The third day strength we got very high, but it's not that we've gotten the final strength but it's a strength that can take some load, but very heavy load. We shall put some restriction till the laboratory test gives us the confirmation of the actual strength that we're expecting.
Dr. Atibola assured the public of government's commitment to visit the bad portions between Sokode Bogame to Anirawase.
There are efforts. You know, we're going to do the second phase of the whole town roads project, which has been packaged already, and we're also looking at the dual carriage towards from Anirawase then to Asikuma. The First Sky is doing it from the Addo Bridge towards Asikuma. We also we're expecting that China Railway will continue the project from Ho towards meeting First Sky along the way. So these are things that we are working on. So the bad portion between Sokode Bogame and Anirawase is being addressed.
Ivy Satoji for Joy News, Anirawase.
Now, he left teaching to pursue his childhood dream of becoming a farmer, which he discovered whilst shepherding animals, and has little regret over that life-changing decision. 48-year-old Dohu Sumaila is the managing director of Farmer Pride and has cultivated more than 1,000 acres of cereals, tubers, and leguminous crops. Here's more. Here's a report by our correspondent Rafiq Salam.
48-year-old Dohu Sumaila is a professional trained teacher who taught for 2 years before making a U-turn to pursue his childhood dream, which he discovered shepherding animals. He has no regret except for the time lost in taking that crucial life-changing decision.
I was not sent to school after birth. I was taking care of animals, but I saw that there's potential in agric, so that is where I asked that I should go to school. So after school, I went up to technical level and then said, no, let me pursue the agric course. So I went to further my education in University of Education, Winneba, where I did agric. So after pursuing the course, I came back You know, the issue of job security is one of the issues that we, the Ghanaian youth, we always battle with. I actually came back to get back into the GES, but I went to school without study leave, so it was difficult for me. So I decided, and then let me go and then pursue my vision, which is farming.
With a permanent workforce of 5 and a little over 120 casual workers, feeding them could be one of the biggest albatross hanging on the neck of the managing director of Farmer Pride. To overcome the challenge, he cultivated large acreage of rice and mounted a little over 2,500 yam mounds to feed the workers.
Early in the morning, when we get up, the first thing is to get some food to eat. Mostly a lot of the farmers complain about the light food, tea and porridge. So that has encouraged us to go into yam in the morning. The first thing, they boil the yam. We all take, if it's at least a piece, we take, and then we'll move into the fall, waiting for lunch to be prepared. So this is it, and then it's ready. We have already harvested the first phase that we will use to feed the farmers, and then we wait for the second one, that is the yam set for the upcoming season.
Sumela says failure to fix roads to the farms and market centers in the enclave is the reason for the astronomical increase in the price of farm produce.
The least we talk about it, the better, in the sense that when you were coming, you saw the big valley down there. If you have to cut any produce from this farm or to cut fertilizer to this farm, that will be the limit. And where the valley is 2 kilometers away from this farm.
There are several dozens of streams such as this that are dotted all over the farm. As a result of that, they are unable to have access to the farms during the rainy days. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Due East.
You're still watching JoyNews Prime here on the Joy News channel with me, Beverly Broom. We take a quick break. We'll be back with more. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now, let me take you live to the Volta Regional Capital Hall, where Joy Prime's culinary show, the grand finale, is happening there in Hall. Let's get a feel of what's happening there at the grounds. And that's how we wrap up tonight. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Beverly Broom. Have a good evening.